Monday. Welcome to Monday Morning Jolt. I'm Maleah. Let's get started.
Good morning. Today with us is Jessica Crew, and she's a local musician and a performer, right? Tell us a little bit about like what kind of music do you do, and what kind of audience do you seek?
I do a little bit of, I play for different venues, sort of like background music. I do anything from like Yanni to my own new age solo sort of piano. But I also perform my own songs that I have written that I sing for as well. So it's singer-songwriter kind of thing. And as far as like a target audience for that, I would probably say females is what I sort of target.
So would you be interested in like Christmas parties or like
Definitely.
Office parties?
Yeah, I've done parties, I've done weddings, especially like the ceremony part of the wedding. I've done graduations, so pretty much, you know, I'm pretty flexible as far as venues are concerned.
So with you comes the keyboard too, right?
Right, I have the keyboard, I have the amps, I have a microphone, I pretty much have it.
The whole
all
set.
set up. Yeah.
That's nice. Why are Mondays great for you? What do you do to kickstart your Monday?
I would say Mondays are good for me just because I get to sort of rest from Sunday. Sunday is a huge day for me because I keyboard for a church, and so it's always just a little crazy. And then I work at night, so Mondays is kind of like my rest day.
So, like, you know, you are an up-and-coming musician, right? And, you know, you have experienced this music field for a while. What kind of advice can you give to other musicians, being a musician?
Singer-songwriter sort of musician?
Anybody that you like
Anyone who
to
plays?
reach out to.
I would say that for me, I've met a few musicians before. I can think of one in particular who wrote rap music, and he was talented, but I felt like he was sort of missing the authenticity, just sort of writing to an audience instead of writing what was deep to him, what was meaningful to him. And I feel like in order to be a very impactful musician, I feel like what you create has to come from something that is very deep and very meaningful to you. And as that happens, it becomes very impactful to those who hear it.
Because one of my favorite quotes from this lady in Fort Wayne, her name is Emily Osborne Burmers, that quote says, "You cannot fake authenticity."
Yeah.
So is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you can't. And to try and cater your music to an audience or to what someone wants. Sometimes that's why I have problems ever thinking I would want to work with a producer, although I'm still open to it. But I definitely think it's very important to stay true to yourself and who you are, and to let what you create flow from that. I feel like that's very important when you're trying to communicate, you know, that creative side.
So do you have an adage that you live by in your life? It sounds like you're saying it almost, that to be true to who you are, and and everything else will follow. But
yeah, I kind of have two things. One of them is to just be as much of yourself as you can be, as often as you can be. And I just quoted one of my friends on that. But that's sort of something I live by. But probably the bigger thing that I live by is there's a poem by Lord Byron called "She Walks in Beauty," and I actually wrote some music to those lyrics. It's one of my very special songs, but I sort of live my life by that, like walking in beauty, and I think it kind of entails walking in love and light, and being open to truth and seeking truth, and it's not passive. But it's sometimes it can involve a lot of courage, and so I think like that's sort of what I try to live by.
I like that.
So Jessica, if you were to have a superpower, what would that be?
A superpower.
Or you're just super, so you don't need to have any powers.
My superpower would probably be to be able to know what people are thinking. I don't know.
That could be creepy.
I know. Good.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of interesting, though.
It would be to be able to hear, know what everyone's thinking around you. Or you might be like the movie where he was trying to get all their thoughts out of his head, but.
What movie was that?
Mel Gibson was in it, and he could hear all women's thoughts, I believe it was.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it could get kind of creepy.
It could
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to go back on that superpower thing and think about it again.
Well, tell us something about you that would surprise people who know you.
Well, when I was a kid, I was really, really bad. And most people are really surprised by that. But when I was a really young kid, like my mom said, she just had never seen a child that was that bad before. I just got into everything, and I was sort of bossy and just very curious. The world was my oyster, so I just did whatever I wanted. I don't know.
But how did you get away with that? Your dad is a pastor.
I know, and they're really strict too. But they tried, but it didn't really. I guess it didn't really work when I was younger. It took a couple years for me to calm down. So.
Okay. So how do people get hold of you, Jessica, to do business with you?
Well, they can contact me by my email, which is crewjo, CREWJO, @gmail.com. So far, that's all I have. But they can also go to my Facebook page, which is just, Facebook and then the /CrewJess.
Crew Jess?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's my band page, so.
Okay. So we would like to thank Jessica for coming and joining
Thank
us
you.
today. And we'd like to thank you, the audience, for listening in. And we are recording at New Ground Coffee Company. And this is Monday Morning Jolt. Use it.